All right, guys. So to watch this video for Wednesday, December 12th, I just popped back in my office to make this video. It's 5:14, and my trading course partner at Day Trader Wayne on Twitter was still babbling in the chat room. I thought that was pretty cool. He's right at the closing bell. He started talking, and I went and made chili. Came back in, and he's still he's still doing some teaching, which is pretty cool. He's a very, very passionate guy. All right, so anyway, showing you the SPY here. The market SPY gapped up right into the 8-day moving average and sold off again. And I think I tweeted one time today something like, it feels like every pop is getting sold. So, I mean, the market's certainly heavy, but there are pockets of strength. I'll show you one here. Hey, by the way, we actually had our first troll in the chat room in a while. And it is exactly the reason why I do not do free trials in the chat room. This jackass paid 80 bucks. It's $79 a month. And he went ahead and paid $79. He figured it was worth it to troll. But we kicked him out after about an hour. And I went ahead and just sent him a refund real quick. And you know what? I haven't even heard back from him. Now, if you were in the chat room and you were banned and sent a refund, wouldn't you email and say, hey, what's that about? But that just proves he was a troll from another room. Anyway, so he pops in like, I don't know, 20 minutes into the session maybe, just bitching about the room. And hey, it was hard to log in. I don't see any screen share and blah, blah, blah. And I know, it's pretty funny because while he was bitching, I put this in the room, APHA 583, 570, which means 583 trigger idea, 570 stop. It was on the morning gap playlist. It had put in a lower high right here when it's flagging. So 583 is the break of this flag with the high of day above. Hole number 6, it above that. It ended up doing really, really well from this entry right here, right? And this is all while he's saying, I don't understand why I can't see your charts or whatever. So anyway, long story short, I thought it would be a good opportunity to talk real quick about, I know there's some chat rooms out there where the guy screen shares all day and shows charts and shows his scanners. And my answer to that, because I don't do that, right? I project charts in the pre-market to show the morning gappers I'm looking at. I project charts during the lunchtime period, during the Q&A, to show charts of any trades that I called that day. But I don't project all day long. I marvel at the thought that some people think they need to see my chart. All right, if you really want to be a day trader and you need to see somebody else's charts, you're doing it wrong. All right. When I was learning to trade, I didn't want to see anybody else's charts. I wanted to know what they were looking at. Oh, by the way, that call I made, not only did I put it in chat, but I'm also on the mic live. So I literally called it 2 different ways, right? In the chat room, I showed you the post. And I'm also saying over the mic why I like it, right? So it couldn't have been more clear. And this guy jumps in and he's bitching because I can't see your chart. So how do I know what you're... Anyway, I'm assuming he was from another room because he started talking about here's what we do in our room, right? It was kind of a dead giveaway. So it's surprising that someone would spend $80 just to be a dick. Anyway, we project during lunch and we project in pre-market, but we do make our calls over the mic and we make them very clear. And what other people don't do is we give you the exact reason why we like it at the price we like it. We literally tell you over the mic, here's why, right? Here's a catalyst above, here's resistance, here's a lower high, it's a morning gap play, whatever. We fully explain the trade because we want you to understand why we're taking what we're taking. And one addition to that is we never just call anything random, right? Oh, by the way, I'm in XYZ. There's chat rooms that do that. There's chat rooms that literally call a stock at the opening bell, right? The bell rings, I'm long XYZ. And that works if you have a big following, because the following will jump in and push it up for you, especially if it's a select low float stock that you've chosen, right? But that's not really trading. You're not learning a damn thing. You're just playing musical chairs, hoping to sell before everybody and before the moderator dumps. So anyway, we're really big on teaching you the why as much as we are at making calls. All right. I hope that makes sense. So anyway, back to the SPY. We had the nice gap up today and just selling pretty much all day. I'll show you 5-minute candles here. We had a little nice afternoon bounce, but then it started to roll over at the end. So, I mean, the market feels just really, really heavy. Having said that, here's what I'm watching for Wednesday. All right. So you had this nice big volume spike on Monday, and then this quiet inside day on Tuesday. So sometimes you get a third day play. So we're going to watch that one. ADIL, I certainly don't love this, but it had a huge 2-day move. And now you're what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 6 days lower. I don't love this. It only traded 147,000 shares today. So we're going to have to see volume come into that in a low risk setup, and then we may take a trade in it. Kind of the same thing with AETI. I mean, look at this. It traded 36 million shares, about six days ago? And then the next day, 30 million shares. And then today, all the way down below 1 million, right? It's down, it's flushed $1 now. It's in that buy zone between the 8 and the 20-day moving averages. So in this area, I do like it for a potential bounce, but it's worth noting there's a lot of people underwater, right? When you talk about people holding overnight, I always make the joke that I don't even hold my wife overnight. I'm a day trader, but there's certainly overhead resistance in this name, but if it's going to bounce, I would want it to bounce, tomorrow in this area. All right. FedEx, just another ugly red day. No trades in it today. Still goes on bounce watch as FDX. FLR, another ugly chart. And look at this. And really in just the last week, it's fallen from 42 to almost 32. And it was already beaten up. Panning way out there. So that thing is way oversold. Certainly on watch for a bounce. Nothing pretty about the chart, but a lot of times if something's really beaten up, kind of like this ARMK, you can get a nice snapback bounce. And when you're a day trader, having one of these on a chart, and you get a low risk intraday setup, you can make your daily goal, even on these ugly charts. So that's why FLR, ARMK both on watch. Cron, really starting to hate this thing, but there are some positives out there. And here's like the 3-day chart using 5-minute candles. It put in its early high the day it gapped up, and that's when it was confirmed that Altria had a huge investment in them. Then the very next day, also put in its early high and sold off, and the same thing today. It got this spike to 13, and I was loving this back through 13. I've said this in the video last night. If this thing has an afternoon high of day break one of these days, I think we could have a nice short squeeze. So this one absolutely goes back on long watch for tomorrow. ACB, kind of the same thing. Called this in chat this afternoon, looking for a break of 6, and I actually made it broke 6, and then it got sloppy on level 2, and I was back out at 6. I must have made like a half a penny or something because it said I made $2 and something, but after commissions I was red. Anyway, if I go to 60-minute candles, you'll see why I like this over 6. Let me pan in a little bit here. It hit 6. When I say 6, it's within a penny or two. Back here, here, here. I mean, very close, right? Here, here, here. So I do like this over 602 now. That was today's high. You kind of have an inverse head and shoulders on 60-minute candles. And the pot stocks, that farm bill's going on. Cuomo said something about recreational pot in New York. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff. I think the pot stocks, and I said this in the video last night, are absolutely worth watching. So I like this ACB back through today's high. AKAO. I don't love this, but it had a nice volume spike yesterday. Topped out at 145. Today topped out at, I said that wrong. Hold on. Topped out at 179. I'm sorry. And then today topped out at 176. I like it over the 2-day high. Not in love with it, but we'll see. APHA, I already showed you that chart. I called it today right over this little two candle high right here at I'm sorry, 583. We got the high of day break. We got a nice push to 6. And again, this is while that jackass was saying, I don't understand this room because I don't see your charts. But we had fun joking about the guy once he was removed from the room. All right, CORT. So, let me go back to APHA real quick. I like this because it just got beaten up, and then on this gap down, very strong move, right? Then a gap up, and sellers took over. Then kind of a nothing day, and it's starting to curl back up. So for me, it's super interesting. Oh yeah, and that, again, then we call this one here, and we were also looking at it, in here back through 6, which it ended up making a nice late day move. So it's a strong stock, even though looking at the daily, it's not so pretty. It's worth watching. CORT. You know what? I told everybody in chat I was going to tell you how I lost. I think it was $44. I rounded up to 50. Anyway, how I lost about 50 bucks on this today. No, I'm not going to do it in this video. It gives away one of our favorite setups, but I'll do it tomorrow in chat. It's a pretty funny story though, and it was 50 bucks, no big deal. But it's a pretty funny story. I thought I had made every trading mistake in the book, and I found a new one today that I made in this one. So anyway, it's funny. I'll show you tomorrow. Anyway, CORT, massive move on massive volume. It's super extended right now, but we'll see if it gives any kind of low risk setup. I still never heard any news on it, which is really weird. But maybe tomorrow we'll find out what the news was, right? NURO, I don't love this one because let me pan back on the chart. Look at this. It's like topping tail city. Every time this thing pops, it gets slapped back down. It held up okay after the news today on decent volume. We'll see if we get a follow-through day tomorrow, but I absolutely hate the way this thing trades, so keep that in mind. And then MYOS gapped up today, kind of challenged that $2 area before closing at 170. I don't know. I don't love this, but I think it's worth watching tomorrow. It had great volume. A lot of people will be watching it, and if it gets any kind of a bid, I think it might be worth a long trade. I'm not in love with this list, but we'll add some gappers in the pre-market and hopefully catch a nice setup or two. And I'm going to leave it at that. Enjoy your evening, and we'll see everybody in chat tomorrow.